of the 3rd Army and the 19th Tactical Air Command of the 8th Air Force is marked by more than 40,000 white crosses. 40,000 dead Americans.
We were young and soldiers called to dedicate our lives in the name of God and country. Do what's just, boys. Go do what's right. A hot band of brothers waiting on our chance to add one more page unto the victory dance. Here am I, Lord, send me, send me. Victory lies in the spirit of the lives of the men who died for me.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I. Send me."
This is Michael Broderick, Marine Corps veteran, actor, and Gallant Few board member. You are listening to the New American Veteran on Vets on Media. Now here's Carl Monger.
Thank you, Michael. And welcome everyone to Gallant Few's The New American Veteran on the Vets on Media Global Network. My name is Carl Monger. I'm an Army veteran, and I am very proud to be an American veteran. Today you're going to get to see, or if you're on the podcast, hear an interview with Dan Spangler, a Marine Corps veteran and founder of Operation Keep Your Spanky, and Joe Trainor, who is his companion in crime on their current trip across the country. Joe is an Army Ranger veteran, and he is the founder and president of the nonprofit One Pet, One Vet. You'll get to hear a little bit about CT, that's short for Crunch Time. That's Joe Trainor's service dog. And Dan's service dog is a 12-year-old dog named Spanky. And that may give a little away as to what Operation Keep Your Spanky is all about. Before the interview, Kent Morrison's going to tell you about Gallant Few. And then Chris Bemis has a message that all veterans need to hear. It's a blinding flash of the obvious.
Gallant Few's mission is to prevent veteran isolation by connecting new veterans with hometown veteran guides and facilitating a peaceful, successful transition from military service to a civilian life filled with hope and purpose.
Now, I'm not very smart, but this magical idea just entered my mind. What if we leave the stolen valor to the people that actually do stolen valor? And then real veterans won't be accused of some bullshit and then thrown into depression, anxiety, and having their fight against 22 every day get even worse. Help each other. Do positive things. It's not that hard. It's really not.
I'm here with Joe Trainor. We're talking about Operation Keep Your Spanky and One Pet, One Vet.
Absolutely.
Tell me what you got going on. What brings you to Dallas?
Well, essentially what brings us to Dallas is the ability to raise more awareness for Operation Keep Your Spanky.
What is Operation Keep Your Spanky? That sounds like kind of a strange name.
It sure is, but at the same time it's catchy. But
It is?
plain and simple, it's to help veterans be able to provide health care to their pets and alleviate that stress and anxiety as far as either having to have that choice of either feeding their family or being able to feed their pets. And so what it's there to is provide everything from pet supplies to pet food to pet health care to do all the above. And it's really something that's really special and really helps out our veterans that take that unconditional love and what helps them with their everyday transitional issues or medical conditions to really be able to provide for their pets.
Now, you're a veteran.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your service.
Well, I served in Charlie Company, 3rd Ranger Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, United States Special Operations.
Nice. So, a couple of combat deployments?
Yes, two combat deployments to Operation Enduring Freedom.
And how long have you been off active duty?
13 years now. Wow.
It's amazing, isn't it? I've been off active duty for like 22. We were talking earlier about your transition.
Right.
Was it really, really smooth?
Absolutely not. You know, being the first wave back from basically
right after 9/11.
Right, when the war first started, there was no transition. You know, it was basically the big army had no idea what to do with us, and regiments still being deployed. You know, as far as 3rd Ranger Battalion, you know, it was one of the things to where it was, here you go, you're out the door, and you know, we really didn't settle in as far as, you know, having that smooth transition, as far as knowing what programs were out there to help us, as far as what we didn't know would be lying, you know, forward ahead down the road. You know, as far as simply dealing with what we deal with as far as my medical transitions, from PTSD, TBI, you know, left shoulder injury to head, shoulders, knees, and toes, as we all like to say.
Sure.
But now being able to have that capability as far as, for example, what you did for us, you know, and having that network out there, that there is help out there. There are programs out there, and being able to raise that awareness is the key point. Whether you're in the Marines, whether you're in the Army, whether you're in the Navy, there are programs out there to help you assist with the smooth transition. Whether your branch is able to take care of you or not, you know, we're able to take care of each other.
Sounds like we got a little dog excitement back there. Let's make sure. Hey, Snickers. What you doing? We'll just keep rolling. Hopefully, this is Spanky right here. If the camera's, I don't know if it's low enough to actually pick Spanky up.
And this is where it all stemmed from. Is once again, you know, Dan's dog is 12 years old. You know, so being able to have him to have the ability to take his dog on an epic journey to go through the country in which he fought so hard for too, as well, to preserve, you know, is once again one of the underlining meanings of this entire mission.
Pet care is incredibly expensive.
Oh, outrageous.
And I think there are some, but pet insurance is not something the VA is not going to offer insurance for your pet.
No.
They'll cover you, but that's about it.
Right, and that mutual bond as far as Dan and I, you know, not knowing each other, and you know, you were there whenever I first got wind of what Dan was doing, not knowing anything about what it stood for other than the fact of a veteran brother needing that help, needing that outreach to basically accomplish his mission of taking his dog but raising awareness for Operation Keep Her Spanky first and foremost was all it was. You know, and here we are today, 3 weeks later.
Yeah, I want to ask you a quick question about your transition. When we were talking about it earlier, you were able to connect with a Ranger buddy pretty early,
right.
And you two were able to help each other out. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of that?
Absolutely. Having that Ranger buddy by your side is key. Whether it's battle buddy, Ranger buddy, whatever it may be, is key, because there is no transition, you know, whenever I first got out, if we're just going on that behalf. But at the same time, finding that unconditional love in a canine companion, you know, and having that as your Ranger buddy by your side to be able to express what we go through on a daily basis is one thing that saved our lives.
Four-legged person, basically, is what it is.
Absolutely. Four-legged friend for life. And that unconditional love to no matter what happens throughout your day, you know, but yet you're able to have that Ranger buddy by your side.
Crucially important.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, now as we finish this interview here, we need to do a bicep comparison. Let's see.
Old school, new school. That's right. They go through desert phase, but I love you, Ranger buddy. And thanks for everything that you've done for us.
Oh,
to help us carry on.
What you guys are doing is awesome. Thank you for doing it, and we're proud that we're able to help support you guys, get you a little bit further down the road, and put you in the Gallant Few Inn last night.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm going to get Dan here in just a minute. We'll say just a couple of quick things for him, and then you've got an engagement you got to be at.
Absolutely. We're going to be at Clyde Park at 11 o'clock to help do nothing more, raise awareness for that man's mission, Operation Keep Her Spanky, and to get this program ramped up, because the ultimate end goal is, once again, we're relying on the American public to help us get around this country. 6,000 miles in 30 days. We're on day 7.
And you're in Dallas now. You're going to where?
Next stop is Midland, Texas, in Albuquerque. But basically, we're going all the way to the camp gates of Camp Lejeune, or excuse me, Camp Pendleton.
Camp Pendleton is on the West Coast.
Right, and then all the way back to Camp Lejeune.
Because Dan's a Marine.
Yep.
Yeah, how's it hanging around with a Marine all the time like that? Stuck in a car and.
I'll tell you what, you know, it's epic. You know, because once again, we always have that Marine-Army rivalry, but at the same time, we're here to also bridge that gap too. That it doesn't matter what branch of service you're in, no matter what, the brotherhood, the sisterhood is always there for one another. Period.
Awesome.
So.
All right. So now I've got the other half of the traveling companions.
Yep.
Dan Spangler.
Yep.
Marine Corps veteran.
Right.
Thanks for being on the New American Veteran. That's where this is going to air.
Most definitely.
Joe just got done talking to me about everything that you guys have going on. Why in the world did you start this thing? And what is Operation Keep Your Spanky?
Well, real simply, Operation Keep Your Spanky is very close to heart because it actually has to do with my guy right down here, Spanky. And what it was is I came back from Iraq injured in 2003. I had put my femur through my pelvic bone and made a hole in my hip pretty much. And so when I came back, I was dealing with a lot of medical issues and having some problems with Mexican command and just overall stuff with the military and dealing with coming back from the war zone. And when I got Spanky in 2003, him and I became best friends. Him and I spent all of our time together. We went and did a lot of training together, so much so that I was offered a dog training position right after I got out of the military.
So was Spanky military dog, working
Nope.
dog? No? So you connected with him?
He was a dog from the shelter.
Okay.
He was my personal pet. When I came back, I adopted him from the shelter. And so, at the time I didn't realize it, but he's the reason I'm standing here talking to you today. He wasn't there with me during the time when I came back and dealt with the medical stuff and some of the stuff from coming back from war. I don't know if I'd be here talking to you. And it's taken me 11 years to realize that, and that's why we started Operation Keep Your Spanky. And what that is very simply, we're going to provide food and low-cost veterinary care to veterans and military families that are struggling financially. So they don't have to make the choice between feeding their pet or feeding their family. And we can eventually keep all the pets with the vets. And it involves the entire family because it's not always the vet that has the connection to the animal. It could be the child, it could be the mother, it could be the father.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so keeping the pet in the home is extremely important. Because there's many studies out there that show how much animals do for families and veterans and things like that, and we're keeping those together.
The power of an animal, there are a lot of studies that show the healing effects, how it calms you down.
Right.
And what you guys stayed at the Gallant Few Hotel, which is my house last night.
Yes, we did. Thank you.
And I noticed Joe Trainor, he was all snuggled up on the couch with his dog all night long.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's like part of you.
Exactly. Like I asked you if it was okay if Spanky came in bed with me last
Absolutely.
night. And he was hanging out with me. He slept right next to me all night long. And it's one of those things that you can't get from anybody else. Even if you're married and things like that, there's an unconditional love that an animal gives that no matter what's going on, they're just there to listen to you and lick you in the face and say everything's okay.
So a veteran out there that doesn't have an animal right now, you would highly recommend they get a dog?
I recommend they look into it because it is a responsibility, and sometimes in the position they're in where they're not ready for it. But I would definitely talk to a professional about it, like myself as a trainer. Talk to Joe. He does a lot of work with training. So talk to somebody that knows about it, how they can help you to set up the right situation. The one thing I've always run into as a dog trainer is people always want big, amazing Great Danes, but don't realize that a Great Dane is as big as a human, and it takes up half a house.
Where do people find out more about Operation Keep Your Spanky?
Very simple. We have a website called keepyourspanky.com. And on there, it talks about what Joe and I are doing right now, going across country to raise awareness and to raise funding for the program.
And you have some sponsors?
We've got a couple here and there. We've got Kurgo. We actually just won a Live Your Kurgo adventure with Kurgo. And what they're doing is they're donating $5,000 to our adventure. And a whole bunch of dog products. They're a dog product company. We also have Voice, which is a dog collar company. They turn around and have a Fitbit for dogs, pretty much. It tracks Spanky's heart rate, his breathing rate, his sun exposure, and everything like that. And then also, the big one was Verizon. They came on board and donated 2 months of unlimited data for us so that we could track our entire adventure and upload it so people can start to see it live time.
And you've got some GPS support as well?
That's right. Yep. Garmin stepped up, and at the last minute, Garmin stepped up. I contacted them because we were sort of in a crunch bind spot, and they donated almost $1,000 worth of electronic equipment. And if you're ever on our website watching us and tracking us, that's all thanks to Garmin. So they put it all together.
Joe was showing me last night some of the gear for the dogs, booties with flashing lights and collars that glow in the dark, and that's all very cool stuff. Well, thanks for what you're doing.
Most definitely, thank you.
Best of luck on the trip. And
Most definitely.
we want to stay up to date, so we'll keep checking in.
Great. Keep up with us.
All right.
Thanks.
Dan Spangler here in Dallas, just got interviewed by NBC, but we want to show you all the first Army Marine handshake.
How are you doing, sir? Oh.
All right, we're downtown Dallas. We're at Booms and Neos, Popsicles. Can't thank you enough. Raising awareness for our pets and veterans here in Dallas.
And those are popsicles for dogs?
Absolutely, absolutely. Puppy dogs. CTS and those, yeah. Oh, instant.
Yeah, I wanted to give you some images of their trip downtown Dallas this last weekend. They're being interviewed there by a news crew. They wandered around, talked to some nice folks, got kids to pet their dogs. They have these carriers that Dan picked up at Walmart. They're just collapsible luggage containers. They work great for the dogs. Dallas's finest, and then there they are posing at the little dog park. As they head off into the sunset, they're on their way to western Texas and off to Arizona. So check out their website. Remember, you can find them on Facebook. Just type Operation Keep Your Spanky. Look for Joe's organization, One Pet, One Vet. They're doing good stuff. Their organization, their program is unique. It's a valid need. It's one that is worth supporting. I want to thank you once again for listening or watching. Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran on the Vets on Media Global Network. Tune in each Tuesday for a new episode, 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. And if you'd like to be on this show, or if you'd like to be a sponsor of this show, please reach out to me, Carl at gallantfew.org. That's Karl at GALLANTFEW.org. Thank you for listening to Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran. Special thanks to Michael Broderick, Kenny Thomas, Tim Abel, Jim O'Farrell, and Madison Rising for permission to use their audio recordings on this broadcast. That rendition of Taps is a public domain recording created by a soldier or employee of the United States government and as such is not subject to copyright protection. This has been a production of Gallant Fuse, the New American Veteran, a proud member of the Vets on Media Global Network, all rights reserved. Learn more at www.gallantfew.org.